welcome to the channel. My name is Cesar and this is my first video here. I'm very excited to share this build with you, and ever since The Sims 2 was re-released, it has been great seeing how the community has grown. So I thought it was a good moment to share some of my gameplay and some of the things that I do here. And today I'm sharing with you something that is very special for me. It's a build inspired in Latin American homes, specifically the type of houses I grew up in and the houses I see every day. So I've been playing The Sims 2 for a while, and don't get me wrong, I love the housing style that the game has, the type of buildings. It's very American. It's the type of houses I've seen all my life in movies and series, but I think it will be great as well to have some representation of what I see every day in my country and the type of houses that I know and love as well. So the type of houses that are more common here in Latin America are the race houses, definitely. Those are the ones I've seen all my life. And this is what I'm trying to replicate here in the game. So right now I'm placing the roof, and by the way, I really love these windows I'm placing on the inside. They are from The Sims 4. We don't call them windows here, but I love them because they remind me of my childhood house. We have them just like that inside the house, dividing the living room with the dining room, which is what I'm going to do as well. Then I'm looking for some windows, and to be honest with you, the most common type of window in my country are louver windows, you know, the ones that look like blinds, and I added them at the back in one room. You can see them here, but the ones I have in the game are not made from glass like the ones we use here. I tried to look for some of them in the Sims 2 community, but I couldn't find them. So I'm using other styles that are popular, not as popular as the louver windows, but they are popular in newer builds. For example, in my country you will always see windows with some type of security measure, you know, some bars, some metal bars outside. So I try to look for windows like that, and in newer houses you can often find windows without that, and a popular style are French windows, which I really like. In my current house I have louver windows, which I don't love. I think that they are not very good, they are difficult to clean, and they can easily break, so I don't really like them that much, but you know, that's the style that it's most popular here. Right now I'm placing the flooring, and the most popular ones here are definitely ceramic flooring. So I really love these ones. These are from The Sims 4 as well, and they look exactly like something you can find here as well. Now talking a little bit about the build, as you can see we have one big room, which is the living room and dining room. We have 2 bedrooms and a bathroom and a kitchen in the back, next to the garden. So we often have gardens like that here. This is a very popular style of housing, even in newer constructions, but I would say that the gardens tend to be on the smaller side. So yeah, I really wanted to give my Sims some more space in the backyard. We also, well, some houses have a front yard as well here. Sometimes they have a wall between the entrance and, you know, the outside, so the front yard is walled as well. But you can still find houses that have the front yard with just a fence, and I really wanted to replicate that here. And by the way, this is an apartment style of lot. I'm building on a residential lot in the meantime, because you know, apartments have restrictions when you are building on them in the game. And I'm also going to build a little community space for my Sims. And you know, I'm building this lot because eventually I would like to build a Latin American inspired neighborhood. This lot is currently in my Build a City Challenge neighborhood, which has some elements of Latin America, but it's not exactly that. So eventually I'm planning to use this lot and these apartments in another neighborhood, so I'm very excited for that as well. Now I'm decorating the gardens, and I really enjoy doing that and detailing gardens, front yards, backyards in the game. I'm adding some dirt as well to the lines and the contour of the housing. I think that those are the things that make the game more alive. Then I'm choosing the roof, and I chose a terracotta style which goes well with the build, and it's popular here as well. And these are the items I'm talking about that I was excited. So we have some lavaderos, which is where we wash clothing, and I would say that it's not exactly like the ones we have here, because we often have bigger ones with a place to store water, but they are very close, and this is from a Brazilian set I found, so I really like them. Then I'm adding some lines for the clothing. This is a conversion from The Sims 4, and they look very well, so I really love them. I added that to all of the houses, because we often have that in the backyard here. We can find as well in some houses a separate area for the washing machines and for the lavaderos. We often have a room actually for lavaderos, but I thought it would be nice to represent it here in the backyard, because that happens a lot as well. I'm also adding some big trees, a papaya tree as well in the second house. We often find here some mango trees. In the previous house I lived, we had a big mango tree, and it was amazing because we could pick up mangoes when they were in season. So I really love these trees, even though I don't have a mango tree in the game. Now, as you can see, while the houses have the same layout and similar style, I tried to make them different, so each one can have its own identity. So the first house, the red one, is like the most basic one, and the one that has the cheapest items. Then the blue one is a little bit better, maybe a family with a little bit of a higher income. And the green one could be for some Sims who have more money and have nicer items, but in general they have a very similar style. Here I'm decorating the red one. I love these couches in The Sims 2. They are very reminiscent of some couches we had when I was a kid, so I really like them. And I'm adding some plants as well. I love plants in all of my builds. And yeah, then I'm starting to decorate the kitchen and dining area. I use these arches to separate the kitchen with the dining room. I think they look good, and as always, keeping a different style for each house. Now, talking about the build, these are apartments as I mentioned previously, and they cost around 2,000 to 2,200 simoleons, and that's very expensive. And I understand it, right? Because I don't know how the game calculates the apartment rents, but the prices are often crazy. These houses will definitely be on the cheaper side in my country, to rent or to buy as well. Not cheap, but not as expensive as in the game. And I actually have a mod that halves the rents in the apartments, because I just think it's too expensive and my Sims can often not afford most of the apartments. And while I like to make my Sims struggle, I don't find paying that much rent to be that fun, so yeah, that's why I changed that. Now I'm starting to decorate the dining areas, and on the red house I used some chairs from the Brazilian set that I really love. You can see them here, these white chairs, they have some nice recolors too. Oh, and by the way, I don't consider myself an advanced builder. I know some cheats, I know some tips and tricks, and I enjoy building as well as the regular gameplay. But for example, I did this project in The Sims 4 as well, which inspired me to do it here. And building in The Sims 4 is way easier. I think The Sims 4 shines in that department, but I still love playing and building in The Sims 2. The Sims 2 is my favorite Sims game actually, and I played it the most by far. But building in The Sims 2 is still fun and working around those challenges as well. And by the way, you can see some of the kitchen items from the Brazilian set here, the kitchen and the sink. I love the sink. It's something very realistic to what you can find here. So yeah, I use it here in the red house, and I started to add some other items, some everyday clutter that makes it charmer and makes the build more realistic. So I really enjoy decorating kitchens in the game. I also try to give each kitchen its own style. You will see that later in the video, although maintaining a similar layout. And now I'm decorating the bathroom, which I would say it's a very common type of bathroom, but it's similar to what we have here. It's this type of bathroom, you can find them everywhere, I think, but I try to give each house its own identity here as well, the flooring and the details. Now I'm decorating the bedrooms and adding some details. I try to keep it simple because I don't really like too much clutter. Oh, and by the way, I really love that blanket with the flamingos. I think it's very cute. So yeah, I don't like too much clutter because Sims tend to get stuck, and also I think that it adds to the rent, to the not monthly but weekly rent the Sims pay in the apartments. I also have a mod to rent furnished apartments because I prefer to do that instead of decorating again and buying the furniture by myself. Sometimes it makes sense, but most of the times I would say it's better just to rent the apartment furnished. By the way, apartments in The Sims 2 are crazily good. I really love them. I love how they work. Oh, and here I'm placing some realistic soap for the dishes and scrubbers. I thought that those items were very cute. So as you can see, this is what I was talking about, giving the kitchens different kind of detail. And you can see I'm using the same kitchen in all of them because I just found it way too cute. So yeah. And then I'm starting to decorate the other rooms in the other houses. I think that decorating is more difficult actually than building the shells. I don't know if that makes sense, but I often struggle decorating and finding a different style for each of my builds. I don't build that much as well. I'm speaking like if I build a lot, but I also enjoy downloading lots from the community and houses. That's also fun. Sometimes you're not in the mood to build, right? And sometimes you are, and that's completely okay. And you will see later in the video that I added some recolors to the showers because I didn't have them at the time. Then I downloaded some which look very nice, very cute. And I will say that the greenhouse bathroom, it's my favorite. I added more detail, like the ones you're seeing here, the items you're seeing here, and I just found it way too cute. I really love that, and the combination of green and white and that type of green, I think it looks very good, very cute. Oh, something that I wanted to talk about as well. When I say representation in the game, I know that for example in The Sims 4 we have Jungle Adventure, which The builds are very nice, you know, we have some cute houses that are the ones that I think people associate with Latin America when they think about houses here. But I would say that that specific style, and if you have played Jungle Adventure, you know what I'm talking about. That specific type of houses are not the ones you will find here in the city or in bigger towns in Latin America, and I can talk about my country as well. You will find the houses from Jungle Adventure in very small villages or towns. And it makes sense as well because Jungle Adventure is placed in a small town, I think. But I think we also have Ciudad Enamorada, which is from an expansion pack in The Sims 4. I haven't played it, but from what I saw, the houses were not completely accurate. But I find it nice that with The Sims 2 apartment life we can build some very cute houses and many different style. I really love apartments. I think I already said it, but I think they are very flexible and I just enjoy seeing my neighbors. I have apartments in all of my neighborhoods, by the way, which, you know, I don't have many. I play mostly in this neighborhood and in Pleasant View sometimes. But yeah, I try to add apartments always. Now I'm working on the community area for the houses, which is next to the green one. And I enjoy building this a lot. It's like a garden / playground and a place for Sims to cook. They will have some tables as well. I like to have a table outside because when the landlord makes that, I think on Sundays he or she will bring a pizza. They often don't have a place to put it, so I like to always have tables outside my apartments just for that, and also for Sims to eat. And yeah, I enjoy building that a lot, and I try to add a lot of vegetation and some cute plants I downloaded too, and I think that the result was very similar to maybe a park we would find here next to a house or in a neighborhood. And as I mentioned before, playing with the brushes and adding some dirt is always very nice to add some detail. I added also some plants. I think that we are going to see them later, some pink plants that are very reminiscent of the ones you will find everywhere here. So yeah, now that the game has been re-released, I'm very happy that the game is getting some love, although I know that it still needs some fixes for a lot of people, but still, I think that most of the people is enjoying the game, and that's very nice. And these are the plans, by the way, that I mentioned previously. Now I'm finishing with the last touches and adding some more detailing. I know I said I didn't like too much clutter, but I'm just adding some things that will make it more lively and make the home feel like people live there. And I started to save like crazy in this last part because for some reason the game crashed, something that hadn't happened to me in a while, I would say. So yeah, I would say be cautious and always save when you're building, especially if you don't want to start building again, because it's kind of frustrating. But I managed to not lose a lot of progress. I'm adding the light now, the lightning, and I try to, as always, remain familiar with the lights we use here, adding some to the outside. It's important not to forget that, and I think it looks very good. I really enjoyed how it turned out, and I really wanted to build it for a while. So I'm very happy to share it with you. Let me know what you think, if you enjoyed the build, if it reminded you of something. If you're from Latin America too, let me know. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and see you later.